the Norwegian method.
I'm Gustav Wearing, 3 times world champion.
I'm Kristian Olympic and 3-time world champion.
I'm Dr. David Lippman, a health and human performance specialist. And welcome to the Norwegian Method podcast.
The Norwegian Method. The Norwegian Method.
Welcome back to the Norwegian Method podcast. Special episode, pre-Nice, live. Boys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the very first time we're doing it live, so that's bringing in a bit extra joy.
Yeah, because normally we do a lot of takes. Maybe like 15, 20 takes every time, so this will be a new one.
Yeah, this will be a new one, so don't say anything controversial. Let's start. How are you boys feeling? That's the most important question. We're in race week. We're a couple days out. How do you feel?
I guess I'm feeling as good as I can feel 3 days out. Both of us have spent like 8 weeks now in total in Nice, 5 during the winter and now 3 weeks building into this race. So feeling that we know the whole course inside out, and I've had good sessions in the course and I've had terrible sessions in the course. So I know how both sides feels, and I just hope that I'm getting a good one on Sunday. But it's like, yeah, race week, it feels a bit like sort of unknown. You want to double check that is the leg still responding as I want to, but sometimes it's just good to just trust that you will be ready for race day.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I have been on a steady trajectory upwards basically the whole year, and after Frankfurt I finished around 9 minutes behind Kristian, and then it was 11 weeks until race day. So trying to find almost a minute a week for 11 weeks straight on the run has been a challenge that we yet to see the outcome of. So definitely getting closer, but in my calculations Kristian shouldn't get faster, so that was also a bit of a miscalculation there. So it's going to be super exciting on race day.
It's like tricky when you're coming out in the season with like a very good shape. Then it's hard to build too much more on it. So to see how he's been sort of being able to take sort of bridging up on training, and as I said, like as we left from Tromø, like he was having his best run session since Kona in 2022, and he was almost staying with me the whole session. And then we came here and he was running well, and then ending up with last Sunday where he actually cracked me on the run. So
we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
But then I hope that I will be able to bounce back again. So it is something about trusting the process.
Yeah. And so where have you guys been? Like, let's start with where you've been looking for minutes. Let's go to Saturday then. I think that's probably the point. Sunday last week, the big one. So that's your classic session, right? That's the one everyone expects. How'd that go? What happened? Talk us through it. Yeah,
I had a pretty good session. So the bike was struggling a little bit. The Super Sunday, as we call it, is basically a really long break session, almost like a race simulation, but with a longer break between the bike and the run. So we did 160k of the bike course, pretty much race pace part of it and some easier parts. So a tough day on the bike, and then we have some light lunch with some bread and stuff, and then we did 3 times 9k, building from 3:37 pace on the first 9k, and then 3:30 on the second one, and then 3:24 pace for the last 9k.
And how'd you go? How was it? How did it feel?
I felt amazing, actually. Like I was struggling a little bit on the bike at times, but the run was so good. And feeling relaxed, and I did feel like this is something I can do last 10k of the run. So if I'm able to like do a 3:24 finishing lap at the promenade, that would be insane.
Yeah, so we did exactly the same training 2 weeks out from the race as we did 1 week out from the race. And on the session 2 weeks out from the race, I felt the best I've ever felt during a session like this. And I was, felt I was able to basically go threshold up the hill without feeling tired. And then it was like pretty smooth pace on the flat section. And then I could attack again the small climb again before doing the downhill. And I was running super well. So it's pretty good to know that I've been able to put that together in the course. But then the following week came, and I was maybe a little bit underfueled, a little bit short on carbs from the evening before. So I maybe came in, not without the full tank, and I just ran empty 2 hours into the bike leg, and then it was like 2.5 hours left, and it took me 3 hours, and I tried to get enough carbs in between the bike and the run, but then and even I put on carbon shoes just to get a little bit of free speed to be able to run with them, but then I had to throw in the I had to give up like after the first 9K, and I don't think it's doing too much damage on the preparation itself. It's more, I think it could have done more damage if I really pushed through and dig myself into a hole. So I feel it was good to have the session I had the week before, knowing that I can do it in the course, and just good to know that I need to recover a little bit more.
I think it's really good advice for people though, is to cut your losses that close to the race day. You're only going to ruin your race at that point. How do you deal with that mentally though? Because there's a bunch of type A personalities sitting out here in the crowd and listening at home who are wanting to hit everything, tick every box, particularly 2 weeks out or in the last 2 weeks. So what do you do mentally to go, this will be fine, I'm better off cutting it, and it's going to be completely fine, I did well last week?
I think it's knowing that, like, we all love numbers and hitting the good pace and feeling good, but I think after having the experience with like a decade of racing or so, that I know that the feeling can go up and down, and I felt rubbish midweek and then feeling great again for the weekend, and I've had periods where I've had like a terrible race and then I'm feeling brilliant for Wednesday, Thursday and Friday session, and then I'm feeling empty again for the weekend. So it's a little bit about the art of being able to really feel like you're peaking for when it's matter, and knowing like how hard you need to go in order to bounce back, or if you had to sort of pull back again and do everything easier. So it's more that I know that I've been able to bounce back quickly before, so it's not something I stress about. It's more that I know that if I stress too much about it, it's not gonna help.
The Norwegian method.
We have been using Plasmade for the last 18 months, and what I love the most is how it helped me get ready for the hardest sessions. A hard session is tough in itself, but with Plasmade it just gives me that little bit extra that helps me perform every single time. We use Plasmade approximately 40 minutes before training and sometimes before flights. After using Plasmade, I feel like the oxygen is just more available in my muscles. I felt like every single breath is utilized more. Alongside their orange, strawberry and watermelon flavors, Plasmade have launched a new delicious pineapple citrus flavor. Visit plasmade.co.uk and use the code NM15 for 15% off your order.
The Norwegian method.
Yeah. And you mentioned you put on some carbons. Does that mean you did all that running without carbons?
This session I did 100% in the on-strike LS. So I've been running a lot without carbons this time. So in Fontromeux I just did it a little bit, and then most of our track work now it's with spikes.
I was going to ask
so
about
that's
this.
the new thing now in triathlon. Everyone has to buy spikes suddenly. So everyone needs a new pair of shoes, buy the on spikes. No, but I do actually think that spike running is a good thing for some athletes. I'm not saying that every age grouper should run in spikes, because it is like the recovery time is it's a bit longer, and also I feel like you need some building up towards it. But it is great strengthening of some small specific run muscles, and it's also no hiding flaws in the technique. So you really need to kind of be up there and be kind of tight in your running. If you're trusting too much in the thick soles, like everything just makes it a little bit easier. So spiked running has definitely helped me a lot the last half a year.
That's maybe the biggest change we have done to the running over the last year. Like straight into the off season, I started wearing spikes on the training back home in
That
Bergen.
was weird. Like you had off season, then you did like
I did a 10 by 400.
a 10 by 400 on a track. Like why?
I snapped my calf basically, and I was like hurting for a week or 2 weeks. But yeah, like the advice is to build it up a little bit. So start maybe with the last 2 or 3 of the last 100 400s. Does it make sense? last 3 by 400 with spikes, and then you can sort of build up a little bit more. So don't overcook it in the beginning. But I think it's really good for like the running stride and like the technique to be able to get a little bit more strength back.
Yeah, okay. And it's race week. What are we expecting on race day? Like everyone here wants to hear what you all think about the race. How's it going to play out? Are we going to see a bunch of fireworks in the front of the bike again? What's going to happen?
I think it will play out quite similar as 23. It's not going to be any huge packs after the first hour. And yeah, my kind of thinking into this day, it's a long day. So I don't expect to be in the front pack on the swim. If I am, it will be a huge bonus. But yeah, my swim has been okay at times and good at times and not as good at other times. So it's not like I make it or break it if I'm in the front pack. Riding hard the first 2 hours and then try to be conservative in the downhill and come off pretty fresh on the run and then run super fast. That's basically the tactics.
Okay. 324s.
Not starting 324. That would be a bit too optimistic. But if you think that, okay, I'm going to load until 324, then you need to be efficient in the speedy running. You can't like waste energy on the 335s, 340s in the start. So yeah, that's my thinking about it anyway.
Okay. KB, what about you, mate?
The expectation is that there will be a group of guys who's really aggressive on the swim and early on the bike. And those guys is Sam Laidlaw, is Jonas Schomburg and Jamie Riddle, plus others. So I think in comparison to 23 is that Sam will have more guys around him. And then the question mark is like how well can they work together? Like it might, like in a flat course, it might be easier to work together because of they can even out their strength. While with the climbing and the downhill, like just those small sections can break apart that group that's trying to work together. But I definitely think that they will be aggressive, and I hope that I can be in sort of the front pack as I were on the swim in Kona, but having a quicker transition so I can respond a little bit earlier. But what I need to learn from Kona last year is that I need to sort of, if thing doesn't go to plan, I need to sort of change my plans sort of more drastical and like last year I was trying to go with trying to go with Magnus Ditlev on the bike, and I blew up, and at that point I should have just changed tactics straight away and just focus on the run instead of doing it like halfway, trying to limit the loss and then trying to get ready for the run. So but also it's good to know that I can run. I've been running like 230 off the bike with quite cooked legs from the bike. So but again, I want to feel control of the front guys coming back into Nice downtown.
Yep. And any advice on the course? You guys have spent a lot of time on the course this year. You've ridden it before. Any advice for a room full of people who may or may not be doing the course on Sunday? Anything you think that would be helpful?
It's a bit late now, but I do hope you have at least driven through the course in a car. If not, I would recommend doing that tomorrow. It will help a great lot to kind of know a little bit. So to have a car to just drive around, that would help greatly. If you have ridden it, then you're already, at least you know kind of mentally what to expect a little bit. I think you shouldn't ride too aggressive in the start, but if you're going to ride hard, the 2 first hours is the place to kind of do it. You can save a lot more overall time to ride hard in the uphills than on the flat and downhills. And also the hills is in the start, so you kind of can recover a little bit in the downhill if you're relaxed. Also, another tip is to try to take as much nutrition and liquid at the top of the hills. The hills, or the downhills, I mean. The downhills is slightly technical, so to be able to drink on the top and not having to force yourself to kind of take your hands off the handlebar to drink in the downhill and maybe risk crashing there, that's another tip. And then, yeah, it's a long day, as I said. Try to enjoy the last bit of the bike. It's a beautiful scenery, and you have a lot of time on the run also to empty your tank. So yeah, try to kind of relax in the downhills, because if you're tensing up in the downhills, then it's not going to go faster. You're just going to get more tense. So if you're kind of more, I wouldn't say focused on the nature, but kind of more focused on just getting down safe and not tense up, it's also better.
Okay. Anything from you, KB, or has that covered it?
I think you covered it pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Some stuff that's been said this week, or in the triathlon media, is a lot going around about your weight, KB. It's not something we love talking about, but I think it's probably reasonable to ask you about it. Where are you at with it? Has it been a goal? Have you intentionally gotten lighter? Is that something you've been trying to do? How have you done it?
I haven't been on the scale since von Dromme, so I don't really what the standing is now. But yeah, I guess the goal since Kona, I think maybe it was a few kilo, maybe a bit too large in Kona last year, and the focus been sort of gradually get a little bit leaner for this race. And it is like a thin line to do it with all the training, so it's like a balance how to sort of sorting or choosing what sort of food to eat. And it's been a lot of oatmeals throughout the days just to get like a proper good sources of carbs, but also mixed in with a little bit of Nutella and some baguettes here and there. But it's been maybe going a little bit more for the option of oatmeals than what I've done over the past or the year before. So it's been a little bit attentional, especially with the climbing and also with the goal of getting quicker on the run again. So yeah, feeling that I have the energy I need, as well as I'm able to absorb the nutrition I'm taking on board in the race. So yeah, it feels good to be race fit.
The Norwegian method.
Morten's hydrogel technology encapsulates carbohydrates, making their gels and drink mix easy to consume and easy on the stomach. With no added colors, flavors, or preservatives, you get exactly what you need and nothing you don't. It's the fuel we rely on both training and to execute on the race day. To get 20% off your next purchase on morten.com, simply enter the code TNMS2 at checkout. The code is applicable once per customer on all products except the Morten bicarb system. Valid until December 31st, 2025.
The Norwegian method.
Thoughts for the weekend for us to watch out as fans? We're watching. Of course, we're going to have a Norwegian podium, 1, 2, 3. But who's going to be in the rest of the top 10, and who are some dark horses we should look at, and who are you worried about that we may not think about?
I think Jonas is a podium guy or a gun guy. Wouldn't you say so? He's either on the podium fighting for the win, or he's well outside of top 10. I would normally say the same thing about Sam Laidlaw, but I guess with the age, you also get a little bit more sort of wiser, and you also think that it's better to come fourth than 20th or something that he was last year. Not that is funny, because I was like 35th. So but he's still probably going to go aggressive from the start. But I think he will be a little bit more secure. So he might be top. Yeah, might even win the race. But yeah, definitely top 10. Who else do you think?
Hugenhaug was really strong in Frankfurt. Good swimmer, good cyclist, and pretty good runner as well. So if he can latch onto someone on the bike and push hard there, I guess he can be definitely a top 10 and yeah, maybe even more. So it's going to be a lot of Nordic people up there, I hope.
Even dad power on Hugenhaug. He just become father. Magnus Ditlev, I guess we shouldn't forget. And Jon Breivoll. Like we have two more Norwegian, it's Kristian Gru and Jon Breivoll. Kristian Gru just won Norseman, which is a very hilly race in Norway. And Jon Breivoll have won it many times in the past. So
yeah, so now it's kind of crazy. We have 5 Norwegian pros qualifying. We already have 1 guy qualified for Kona next year, Marius. So yeah, 21 was the first year we had a pro racing the full distance, and 2019 the first pro racing the half distance, and now we're suddenly 5, potentially 6 next year. So the journey of the Norwegian triathlon has been pretty cool.
Yeah, and Solveig as well. On the
Solveig
women's
in
side.
Kona, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. So inspiring a generation, which I know is something that you're both passionate about. That's really cool. And anything else we should watch out for on the weekend from you, from someone else? Any new gear you want to talk about? Anything you want to debut? Anything you want to talk?
Yeah, we have updated our suits from Surpass. So the suits is always like, it's a big thing, you know, because it's such a big surface area of the body, and working hard with the Surpass to optimize both the thermodynamic while also keeping in mind the aerodynamics. So the suit from Frankfurt now, I think we found like 10 watts more in the aero gains for this race. And I also have updated my fit a little bit because I'm a pretty heavy stomach breather. So if I'm really aggressive on the aero bike, I sometimes it's hard for me to really breathe deep enough. So now I can do an Ironman and breathe at the same time. So now it's going to go really fast.
We saw Kristian do an Ironman and vomit last year. So
yeah, not
that's
good.
That's not a high to advise. But as well, we have the new cockpit for both of us. Like we have the KLX cockpit, which is quite smooth, and it's comfortable and also easy to control. Yeah,
so I have changed away from my super long stretch position from Kona, and now I'm a more TT-ish. I wouldn't say quite triathlon because I'm pretty aggressive low. So updated position, updated suits, same bikes, I think, except the cockpits.
And similar positions, right? So what you've been riding recently.
But that was also like with this race in mind, like when I worked with the position to get a bit more backwards on the saddle and get a bit more powerful position and maybe bleed off a little bit aerodynamic in order to get stronger and more in balance for this course, because I think it's going to be more important to ride quite hard up the hill rather than having a very good CDA up the hill.
And that reminds me, equipment and age groupers, I hope you guys have checked your bottle cages for this race, because it's like ejector city out there. It's so many spots to lose your nutrition, and I've seen some broken off 3D printed hangers behind the saddle. So if you're using the 3D printed, I really, really hope you checked it out really well, because
give it a shake test.
It's gonna break. That's my guarantee, almost.
Fingers crossed it doesn't break on the weekend for anybody, but particularly the audience and you two. Last one before we throw it to the audience for some questions. I think the question on many people's minds, Gustav, which cap are you wearing on the weekend?
Now I'm wearing, this is On. I think it's a few years ago now, but I found a hat on the ground, you know, and then I kind of won a little bit with that one. So yeah, it's going to be the lucky hat this weekend.
Okay, well there you go. Heard it here first. We'll open it to the floor for some questions. What we'll do, if you just yell out, I'll repeat it over the mic so that everyone's heard, but also that the podcast audience listening at home has heard that as well. So any questions, just hand up and we'll go from there. I'll pick some and we'll go from there. Yeah, so just for the people listening at home, we're talking about balancing, I guess, health and performance, right? Top-end performance with health. I guess that dovetails well into what we're talking about around body weight loss, these sort of things with you before, KB, but you can both feel free to answer it.
Yeah, I think it's a thin line there, but I think if you do like training to the extreme, as we often do, I think there is more healthy things to do. But then, like what you compare to, like it might be more healthy to train 20 hours a week than 32 hours a week and being on the limit. But I think definitely 32 hours is better than nothing or 5 hours. So I'm fit and healthy, I like to say.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree like that. It's fit and healthy is not the same. I don't think you can win the world championship and not be healthy, because health can mean a lot of things. I don't think you're gonna live to be 120 if you do this sport, but that's not also my kind of definition of being healthy. Just live a long life. So I think, health and fitness is closely tied together.
But I will also say, like, I haven't been broken down by injuries since 2013, by a big injury. So I feel like I've been able to balance it quite well there. So I think if it was more on that wrong side, it would be in a lot more stress fractures and stuff like that.
The question was, do the guys have interest in doing Norseman? I think we talked about this on a podcast. I think it's one of your goals as you guys retire. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a goal of both of us, but I think it's going to happen after the professional career is done or at the end of it. The timing is always not the greatest, start of August, but yeah, it seems like an amazing race, a big challenge, and it's also where me and Kristian did one of our first triathlons before they had the mini Eidfjord, which was 1/10 of the distance in Eidfjord in the cold water. So we kind of done it, but we have to do the real thing.
Don't tell the guys who finished and gotten their shirts that you've done it. Next question. Sorry, there's one here. That's a great question. Can you help each other? Like, there's been some accusations that they may be working for UKB, which I find to be hilarious, knowing a little bit about Kasper and a lot about Gustav. They're a bit more competitive than that.
No, I think we can give each other slack, like out there on the course, like on the swim. Like Gustav would not like stick into underneath my arms on the swim because that's going to drag me backwards. He would rather go in my feet. So you're always like trying to look out for each other in that way. And the same is on the bike. Like if I can get the feeling that he's on the way to pass me, and I know that I'm sort of in the line of riders, he can't normally sort of slot in because if you're on the line. But then if you sort of are aware that he's coming, then you can sort of easily open up a gap, so it's a little bit easier for him to also slot in. So you can sort of make it easier to be around with in the race, and as well, like it's not like you're surging hard when I'm running past him. It's sort of giving each other a little bit more slack, as well as maybe sharing the work a little bit more, like rather than one guy just being 2 hours up front. You might do 15 minutes each in the front if we are in a position where we need to do it.
Yeah, so friendlies rather than domestiques, let's put it that way.
But until a certain point.
Yes.
So like in the...
Until he thinks you're lying about not being good to go on the front of the run.
Yeah, like in Kona in 22, like then I was struggling and he sort of didn't know what to do. But then I can't dig myself a hole to share the work equally, you know. Then it's, yeah.
One at the back there, the back corner. Yep. All right. So the question is, having both won in different spots, neither of them in Nice, there's some special nature to the fact that you'll be winning in Nice, with it being the last time outside of Kona for the foreseeable future?
For me, I don't think it really matters. It's maybe different for Kristian because he hasn't won in Hawaii yet, but I guess his time will also come. But yeah, it's I don't think this is like make it or break it moment that I have to win in Nice before it's back to Kona. But it is a really good opportunity for me because this course, I just love it and have a great history here from before. So yeah, not make it or break it, but still cool.
I know that if I'm winning this race, there will still be people that say that I haven't won Kona. but if I'm not winning this one, but I win Hawaii next year, people will not say, but he didn't win Nice. But I found the challenge of this course to be like if I have to pick, like without listening to other people, I would pick this one. One, because it's the final time it's happening, but also because of the climb and sort of the extra challenge of it. I think the course in Kona might suit me actually a little bit better than this one, but that just brings the challenge even, keeps it more interesting for me to train for it.
So the question was, there's world-class physically. Do you think you're world-class mentally, and what do you do when you're in the pain cave?
I would say it's at the same level, yes. So I think like a lot of the mental training I'm doing is happening when I'm sort of training and sort of visualizing being in the moment of the race and thinking about all the sort of mental aspect that can make me perform better in the race. So I think that's something I've always been like good at, visualizing and being going through a race in advance and sort of thinking about different scenarios. So when I'm actually getting into the race and the situation, it feels like I've always almost been there before. So it's like, it's not a new thing. It's like a situation I've been in many, many times.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody.
The Norwegian